All right, let's continue to get reflections now, and we speak to the Archbishop, that's the Archbishop of Cape Town, the Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, who talks to us now. Archbishop, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us. You met the Queen back in 2008. Before you tell us your reflections about what that experience was like, give us your reaction first to the passing of this monarch, 70 years on the throne.
Thank you so much, Koli. And I just want to say on behalf of the Anglican Church of Southern Africa, we send our heartfelt condolences to the British people and to the people in the Commonwealth where the Queen was the head. And as we say in such things in royal language, the Queen is dead, long live the King, and so we send our congratulations at the same time to King Charles, and we pray that the Queen so may rest in peace and indeed rise in glory.
Yeah. Your reflections about your meeting with her in 2008, in fact, it wasn't really a personal meeting. You were in a queue of people who were shaking her hand. What was that experience like?
Once in 10 years, the Anglican bishops do gather for what we call the Lambeth Conference of Bishops. And one of the most important things is to visit Buckingham Palace. And on this occasion, I was part of the design team for the Lambeth Conference, and a few of us were selected to shake her hand and to engage her briefly. And even in that brief moment, one felt, the connectivity, the closeness, and one felt that here was somebody, when she was greeting you, was engaged with you. So the rest of the world stopped and she engaged you. And I was really surprised that those that briefed her on those that she was greeting briefed her well, and she could remember, oh yes, how's South Africa? And I recall XYZ about South Africa. That stayed with me, because sometimes I greet a lot of people in queues and in churches, and I get briefed, and when I get to meet them, I forget my notes or something like that. But the fact that there were 1,000 of us, but 10 were chosen, and she could remember our story, really, really, really meant here was somebody who was interested in hearing our story. She was humble, but given her context, sometimes very difficult to say, how do you merge humility with what the pomp of royalty comes with. She was dedicated to her people. Her Christmas messages and annual messages, for me, they're really very powerful. They were healing. They were holding the British people and most of her subjects and the world to values that said humanity matters and truth and honesty matters.
Archbishop, allow me to share with you the reflections of our Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, something that is quite similar to what you have just said. This is what she had to say about the Queen, and I quote, "I think she was extremely well read. If one had the opportunity to meet her in person, she would be very interested in where you came from and have something to say about it." And I'm going to press you on this because do you remember exactly what it is that she said about your country, South Africa?
Koli, I told your people that I'm at UWC just before starting a graduation. But one of the things that she spoke about was how courageous South Africans were, and then briefly we spoke about Colenso, who was a bishop that created controversy within the Anglican Church that led to the formation of the Lambeth Conference. But there were other personal things about Bishop's Court, where I stayed. I was trying to avoid that, but I was just amazed. I mean, I like talking about other people and helping. Now, when people zoom on to me, I become a bit shy. So I said, oh my goodness, here is a British monarch knowing about some of my little context and my church back at home. But I was sharing with somebody the story of when we went again and we were invited after one of her jubilees to Buckingham Palace, and they gave us a wonderful meal, and we sat there, we enjoyed. I'm not ungrateful, but even when the meal was good, I was expecting that at least the Queen will appear, but on that occasion, we were with some of his staff and other people than her, so which was a bit of a disappointment, but in short, I'm saying she was human.
Yeah. Bishop, let me let you go, but very briefly, do you have any kind of relationship with the incoming king? In fact, he already is king, King Charles III. Have you met him, and what do you think the British monarchy is going to look like under his stewardship?
I have met him. You'll remember a couple of years ago, he came to St. George's Cathedral, and I see one of the assistants at the cathedral posted a picture with him and Camilla, the consort. He is 73 years old. His interests are known. One of them, which is very close to my heart, is about the care for creation and the environment. And I hope that he will highlight the importance of looking at water and the possibility of scarcity of water later, looking at how we look at creation, looking at some of those companies that defile, spoil water, and to really champion the cause of the environment and creation. And I hope in terms of the relationship with the faith community and the church that he will continue to be all-embracing and encourage people to have a relationship with God or a deity as he seeks to help the British people and the people of the world to do something bigger than themselves.
Anglican Bishop of Cape Town, thank you very much for those reflections. Thabo Makgoba, thanks indeed.